Welcome back, my friends. It's always a great privilege to share this space with you, a space where we walk hand in hand through the teachings of the Buddha, where we listen deeply, reflect honestly, and strive toward becoming better human beings. Whether you've been following this journey with us for a long time or you're newly joining our spiritual circle, I want to welcome you with a heart full of gratitude. Today, we confront a subject that may feel uncomfortable, but it is one that must be addressed if we are to preserve the integrity of spiritual communities. The phenomenon of the false practitioner, the so-called devotee who appears pious on the outside, but internally operates from ego, manipulation, and self-interest. In every spiritual community, from ancient monasteries to modern-day temples and retreat centers, we find not only sincere seekers, but also those who wear the mask of devotion for the wrong reasons. Perhaps they are drawn by social standing, personal gain, or psychological validation. They chant, bow, donate, and serve, but not for the Dharma. Rather, for recognition, influence, and sometimes even control. And while we are taught to practice compassion, the Dharma also teaches us to be discerning, to see through appearances, and to protect the sanctity of spiritual spaces. So how do we recognize false devotion? And more importantly, how do we protect our own minds from falling into the same trap? Let's begin by painting a picture that may sound all too familiar. There's a lay practitioner, well-dressed, articulate, confident. They attend every ceremony, sponsor temple events, offer generous donations. They may even advise monastics, manage temple affairs, or lead group chants. From the outside, everything looks perfect, but look closer. Listen closely. Do they speak with humility or with superiority? Do they uplift others or constantly compare, criticize, and judge? Are they truly serving the three jewels, or are they building their own pedestal? In many temples, we find such individuals. They may not be malicious in intention. Sometimes they start with good motives, but gradually get entangled in ego. The desire to serve turns into the desire to be seen. Offering turns into obligation. Practice turns into performance. And before they realize it, they've drifted far from the path. The Buddha warned of this repeatedly, not to reject people, but to stay mindful of our own intentions, because the greatest danger is not the external disturbance such individuals may bring, but the internal confusion they spread. When beginners see such people and assume that piety equals superiority, they may mistake arrogance for wisdom. They may become discouraged, thinking, if this is what practice looks like, I don't belong here. This is how sacred spaces lose their light. So we must understand what makes a true practitioner. A true practitioner may be quiet, invisible even. They do not flaunt their practice. They do not speak of their donations. They do not impose their views. They walk gently. They listen deeply. They serve silently. Their strength lies not in their knowledge, but in their humility. Not in how many sutras they can recite, but in how they treat others, especially those with nothing to offer. A false practitioner, on the other hand, quotes scriptures but lacks compassion. They may perform rituals but harbor resentment. They may give generously but demand gratitude, and they may appear disciplined but speak ill behind closed doors. But here is the difficult truth: we all have both within us. We all have moments when we practice sincerely, and we all have moments when our ego hijacks the path, when we want to be praised, when we want to be respected, when we get irritated if our efforts go unnoticed. So this is not about pointing fingers. It's about turning the mirror inward. Ask yourself, why do I go to the temple? What do I chant? Why do I serve? Is it for the Dharma, or for something else? When no one sees, do I still practice? When no one thanks me, do I still serve? When others are praised, can I rejoice? When I'm criticized, Can I reflect? These questions cut to the core. They expose our rages, but they also point us back to truth. The path is not about perfection. It's about honesty. And honesty begins with recognizing that spiritual pride is more dangerous than worldly pride, because it disguises itself as virtue. It creeps in quietly. It tells you, you are more devoted than others. You deserve more respect. You've done more for the temple. These thoughts may seem small, but they plant seeds of separation. And separation is the root of suffering. When we divide ourselves from others, when we judge others for not being spiritual enough, we lose the heart of the Dharma. Because the Buddha did not teach to create spiritual elites. He taught to end suffering for all. So how do we walk this path authentically? First, stay humble. Remember, no matter how much we know, there is always more to learn. No matter how long we've practiced, delusion still visits. No matter how much we've given, we are still receivers of infinite blessings. Gratitude dissolves pride. Second, serve without expectation. True generosity is silent. It leaves no trace. It does not seek credit. It rejoices in the giving, not in the acknowledgement. Third, be honest about your motives. Are you showing up because your heart is drawn to the Dharma, or because you want to be seen? The answer isn't to judge yourself, but to be aware and then return to sincerity. Fourth, practice right speech. False practitioners often thrive on gossip, criticism, and drama. They divide communities by fueling conflict, but true practitioners speak to heal, to connect, to bring peace. Let your words be few, but full of light. Fifth, protect the sanctity of the Sangha. If you see misconduct, don't ignore it, but don't react with anger either. Speak up with compassion. Set boundaries with love. True compassion includes truth and clarity. Avoid enabling harmful behavior under the name of kindness. And finally, remember that the temple is not a place for status. It is a place for surrender. Everyone who walks through those gates carries a burden. Everyone comes seeking refuge. Don't compare burdens. Don't compete in piety. Simply meet others with the kindness you wish to receive. In every community, false practitioners will exist. This is part of samsara, but what matters is that we each choose sincerity, that we each protect the flame of the Dharma in our own hearts. And when enough people do that, the false will fade and the true will shine. Thank you for staying through this challenging and heartfelt discussion. If this message stirred something in you, please share your thoughts in the comments. Have you encountered spiritual ego in yourself or others? What helped you return to sincerity? Let's grow together, not in appearance, but in authenticity. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it. The world needs more voices of honesty and humility. Let us be part of that movement. Thank you for watching this video. May your practice be pure, your heart be humble, and your service be sincere.